For thousands of years, humanity has stared into the future and asked the same question. Where is history going? Is the world moving toward a destination, or are we simply watching random events collapse into noise? According to Jesus Christ, history is not random. It is aimed. It is moving toward a fixed end. And nearly 2,000 years ago, his disciples asked him the question that still hangs in the air. What will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? They wanted a date. Jesus gave them something far more precise, a prophetic blueprint, a series of signs that would reveal the condition of the world before his return. In Matthew 24, Jesus describes a world marked by deception, conflict, moral freefall, global instability, and spiritual rebellion. But he does not call these signs random. He calls them birth pains. A woman does not feel one contraction and immediately give birth. The contractions increase. They grow stronger. They come closer together. Jesus said the same pattern would appear before the end of the age. The signs would intensify. Scripture does not give us the day or the hour, but it does give us the season. And once you see the pattern, you will never read the headlines the same way again. Today, we examine 7 signs Jesus said would appear before his return. Not to produce fear, to produce readiness. Because prophecy was never written so believers would panic. It was written so believers would be awake. The first sign Jesus warned about was deception. Matthew 24:4. Take heed that no one deceives you. Notice where he begins. Not with wars, not with earthquakes, not with politics. He begins with the greatest danger facing the human race, spiritual deception. He continues, "For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many." False messiahs have always existed. But Jesus is describing something larger, a world in which truth itself becomes harder and harder to recognize. Paul saw the same condition coming. He said a time would arrive when people would no longer endure sound teaching, but would accumulate teachers who tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. The final days will not only be marked by people rejecting God, they will be marked by people manufacturing their own versions of truth. That is why Jesus' first warning is so sharp. Be careful that no one deceives you. The second sign is wars and rumors of wars. Matthew 24:6. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. Jesus is not saying every conflict is a prophetic fulfillment. Human history has always bled. But he is describing a world in which instability becomes the defining atmosphere. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, a rising pressure that never fully resolves. Daniel saw the same trajectory, global powers colliding as the world moves toward its final ruler. Before Christ returns, the earth itself will feel the strain. The third sign is the increase of lawlessness. Matthew 24:12. Because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. This is not merely about crime statistics. It is a spiritual diagnosis. A world that rejects God's standards. A culture that calls evil good and good evil. Isaiah saw it centuries earlier. The closer humanity moves toward the end, the more visibly it abandons the design of its creator. And when lawlessness multiplies, love freezes. The fourth sign is the rise of global spiritual deception and false religion. Jesus warned that many would claim spiritual authority. the last days will feature a deception powerful enough to sweep millions. Paul spoke of a coming rebellion and the man of sin. Revelation describes a world that eventually follows a leader who offers peace and delivers destruction. This is why believers must know the book. Deception is only defeated by truth. The fifth sign is the return of Israel to the land. This is one of the most precise prophetic developments in all of history. For nearly 2,000 years, the Jewish people were scattered across every continent. Then, in 1948, a nation came back from the dead. Not metaphorically, literally. Ezekiel 37 shows a valley of dry bones. God asks, "Can these bones live?" First, the bones come together. Flesh covers them. Then breath enters. 2 stages. The physical reconstitution of the nation, followed later by spiritual awakening. The Jewish people returning in the 19th and 20th centuries, culminating in statehood, is the first stage, the bones assembling. A nation regathered, largely in unbelief. The body without the breath. The breath is still coming. Jesus said Jerusalem would be trampled by Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. Since 1967, the city has been under Jewish control for the first time in 2,500 years. And the nations have been reeling ever since, exactly as Zechariah said they would. The sixth sign is the preaching of the gospel to all nations. Matthew 24:14. This gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. Notice the balance. The Bible does not only speak of judgment, it speaks of mercy. Before the final events unfold, God is still calling people from every tribe and tongue. Through missionaries, through technology, through ordinary believers who refuse to stay silent. The message is still going out, and it must reach the ends of the earth. The seventh sign is a world being arranged for the final prophetic sequence. Scripture describes a coming global system, political, economic, and religious. Daniel and Revelation both point to a 7-year period known as the Tribulation, when God's purposes for Israel and the nations reach their climax. But we are not in that period yet. The church age is still the parenthesis. The 71st week of Daniel has not begun. It will begin with a specific covenant. Until then, the believer's blessed hope is not judgment. It is the return of Jesus Christ, the moment he gathers his own. So where does that leave us? Are we supposed to set dates? No. Jesus said, "No one knows the day or the hour." Are we supposed to ignore the signs? No. Jesus said, "Watch." The purpose of prophecy is not speculation. It is preparation. The question is not, can we calculate the exact moment? The question is, are we ready when he appears? The same God who predicted Israel's scattering predicted Israel's restoration. The same God who kept his word about the first coming will keep his word about the second. Every fulfilled prophecy is a receipt, proof that the remaining promises will not fail. The signs are not given to make us afraid of the future. They are given to remind us that history belongs to God. Jesus is coming, and the most important question is not when, it is whether we are ready. If this opens something up for you, if you are seeing these connections for the first time, help us get it to someone else. Subscribe, leave a comment. Even one word tells the algorithm this matters. Share it with someone who is watching the news and wondering what any of it means. The prophets wrote for moments exactly like this one. Let's make sure people can find it. Stay blessed and keep watching for his return.